I'd like to declare the meeting for the ARIC Committee for Dowerin Shire open at 12:11, and thank everybody for coming. And we have apologies from Megan Shirt, Acting Manager of Corporate Services, and also Councillor Trepp. Okay, so does anybody have disclosure of interest? Not imagine. So we'll move on to the minutes of the previous meeting. So if everybody's had a read through of that. Okay, in accordance with section 3.18 and 5.222 at the Local Government Act of 95, the minutes of the Audit, Risk and Improvement Committee meeting held on 19th of December 25, as presented in attachment 5.1a, be confirmed as a true and correct recording of proceedings. If I can have someone to move. Yep. Councillor Hudson, and seconded Councillor Graffin. Yep. Those in favour? Moved. Okay, and we don't have any presentations, so we'll move on to the officers' reports. So the first report we have, 7.1, is the risk dashboard review. So first of all, compliments to compressing the 18-page document down into 4. Makes it a lot more simpler and a lot more easy to read. So compliments to the staff on that one. And Manisha, have you anything you'd like to comment on this?
Yes, yeah, thank you for your compliments. It's been an ongoing progress and we still are doing a lot more improvements on that. So I'm glad that we have come a long way with this, and yeah, everything seems to be going okay.
Okay, so
would it help, Manisha, if we just went through quickly all the red ones, to just your view where it's at, when the timeline will be to address them and things?
Well, through the chair, can I just get the manager governance to make some comments on the status?
Just quickly, please. Not in depth, but just things.
Through the chair, so our risk dashboard is a governance and assurance tool. It does not measure incident severity, but rather the maturity and effectiveness of controls across the organisation. The 3 ratings of low, moderate and high reflect whether controls are well embedded, still developing or require further work. Overall, the dashboard shows that many controls are operating effectively. However, it also highlights a number of areas where controls are incomplete, inconsistent, not yet fully documented or tested. These are not unexpected and largely reflect legacy gaps, resourcing pressures, and the need to better align planning frameworks. Key themes emerging this quarter include asset management, business continuity and emergency preparedness, compliance frameworks, document and information management, workforce planning and our IT systems. In most cases, the risk relates to the absence or immaturity of frameworks rather than identified failures. Excuse me. Management has identified clear staged actions for each risk category. These include completing outstanding asset reviews and valuations, aligning asset plans with the long-term financial plan and integrated strategic plan, progressing business continuity and disaster recovery testing, strengthening compliance and governance frameworks, improving record management practices, and continuing workforce and wellbeing initiatives. The dashboard is intended to support prioritisation rather than immediate remediation across all areas. Progress against these actions will continue to be tracked and reported quarterly, allowing the committee and council to monitor improvement over time. Management are currently satisfied that the dashboard provides a transparent and realistic view of the organisation's current risk position and supports informed oversight. Now, onto the dashboard itself. I have done an overall assessment on the average rating for each area. So the ones I would like to highlight are those in high, one being our failure to fulfil compliance requirements. The first one on there being document our governance framework. This process was started some years ago but has sat stagnant and just needs to be readdressed so that we can get it through for adoption. Our human resources management framework is another area that we really need to focus on, and has already been identified, and the HR area has now come under my position, and I'm working with those staff to get everything up to date. Our information systems, we need to take into account the new PRIS principles and regulations there, which will then affect
PRIS is
privacy responsibility, privacy responsible information sharing.
Yep.
So it has a whole heap of different structures and processes that we need to make sure we are complying with, especially in regard to people's private information. So this is going to be a huge task for the organisation and will require an in-depth view of our information management and how everything is feeding through into our main system and ensuring that we have adequate security on people's information.
This is a public sector-wide reform. It's not just local government. All other departments and governments are going through the same process.
Yeah.
The same explanation I would again put through to the document management processes. We've identified already that there are some gaps here with our information and how it's stored. So again, we're working on this, but it's just going to be an ongoing lengthy process. Our environment management is another area of concern, which I've rated high. This relates to our waste management plan being for the tip, which is ongoing, and to our storage system as well, which again is something that we are tackling, but is just proving to be a lengthy process. Errors, omissions and delays, again, relates back through to our IT systems and ensuring that we have got correct procedures and processes documented. The employee code of conduct and our councillor code of conduct need to be reviewed again, as we've had the LG reforms come into effect with other guidelines on the 1st of January. So that'll be going through to council in March. External theft and fraud, a lot of this is relating to cyber and ensuring that we have documented records of our assets and reviewing our security and storage of records. I've been working with our IT providers to get these items up to date, get our business continuity plan into place, and they will be doing testing on our IT systems to make sure that they fulfill the needs if we do have a high-risk event take place. Management of our facilities, venues and events. We have a lot of work to do in this area in regards to event management planning and just making sure that we are following processes per the Health Act for any events taking place in Dowerin. IT and communications, I've touched base on. Misconduct, again, a lot of this is relating back to our process management and documentation. We are currently undertaking the Regulation 17 and our financial management regulation audits. So we will have another audit and risk committee meeting to undertake when the report is back to me, which I'm expecting by the end of March. Project and change management, again, is our frameworks and methodologies, which are proving to be quite a big area for us to work on. So I'll hand back over to the chair.
Awesome. So probably just following up on that, have we, how are we going staff-wise to be able to tick off all the boxes? Have we got the full complement of staff at the moment?
We have. It's a very busy period of the year. So we kind of strategizing time versus resources. So of course our governance team is pretty flat out doing everything. And yeah, at the moment we don't need additional resources than what we have. We did hire a little bit of casual help here and there, but it's not, it's very temporary given we have an audit going on as well. So hopefully we will be all right is what we believe at the moment.
And then obviously we've advertised at the moment for a management of corporate services, but Megan's doing the interim, which is great, having so much experience. Yeah, okay. So we're definitely heading in the right direction anyway. But yeah, compliments to this new, easily glanced over document. Not quite so tedious. Any other questions, Councillor Graffin?
Just a comment, really. My initial reaction when I first read it, your eyes go straight to the reds, but you can see once you read it through a couple of times, there's actually a lot of work that's been done already, and I feel sure that it'll all happen in good time.
I remember when we had a meeting last year, I think you prepared a document that said these are the things that we've ticked off so far in the last couple of months. And yeah, that actually highlighted, because you panic when you look at it. Yeah. And when you presented that document to us, I went, oh, gee, yeah, you have been busy. You're not just sitting around drinking coffee. Okay, Councillor Hudson, any further questions?
No, today it's all good.
Okay, no worries. All right, so we'll go on to the motion then. So the officer's recommendation 7.1, that in accordance with the regulations 16 and 17 of the Local Government Audit Regulations 1996, the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee, 1, receives the Risk Dashboard Quarterly Report for February 26 as presented in attachment 7.1A, detailing the significant risks and requires mitigation actions. And 2, recommends to Council that it adopts the Risk Dashboard Quarterly Report for February 26 with ongoing allocation of resources and budget to address them effectively. So if we could have someone move that.
Yep, I can do that.
Councillor Graffin, and second, Councillor Hudson. All those in favour? That's 3 and carried. Okay, and now we move on to 7.2, terms of reference to update the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee. Okay, so obviously a lot of it is just standard changes because we have to put the Deputy President as an independent member, which has been done. And has anyone got any further questions for Manisha or Carly about the terms of reference? It's quite in depth, isn't it? Okay. All right, so we'll move on to, did you want to...
Just to say we have to record them, is that there or not, Carly?
Oh, I'll have to double check whether that is included in the terms of reference, but our council policy in regards to recording meetings does already cover that it needs to be recorded.
That's okay. Yeah.
If you've got external members, though, it's probably not a bad idea to pop it in here as well, though.
But we have to by law, don't we? Well, you might as well put it in there then. It's probably dull enough a bit, but still.
Probably is, but then when you're asking for external parties to come on board and you're presenting this document to them,
yeah,
you don't have to say, oh, actually, you have to abide by this, that, and the other as well. Yeah. Okay. All right. Manisha, did you want to speak to this at all?
All good, thank you.
Okay, so that's all quite straightforward. So we'll move on to the motion. Okay, officer's recommendation 7.2, that in accordance with regulations 16 and 17 of the Local Government Audit Regulations 96, the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee 1, receive and note the recommendation to amend the terms of reference to align with amendments to the Local Government Act 95, including the establishment of an independent deputy presiding member. And 2, approve the payment of an allowance to the deputy presiding member set at the same rate as the meeting attendance allowance payable to councillors for committee meetings in accordance with section 5.10 of the Local Government Act 95. So if we have someone to move that, have Councillor Hudson and seconder, Councillor Graffin. All those in favour? That's carried. Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
None from me.
I just had one quickly. I was just going to, at our last meeting, we had looked at the audit report and the findings. There were 5 findings that were still outstanding, and I was just going to check with Manisha if we could just have a brief update on those, please.
Absolutely.
So the first one was the journal entries.
So with the journal entries, we have already placed some processes that's been implemented in last 3 months by now. Basically, the issue was to not have a second approver whenever there is a journal being corrected, a correction journal mainly. So we have implemented a process where there is a creator of the journal and an approver. Currently, we don't have a manager of corporate services, so our consultant from Aquist is doing the journals and I'm signing off. But the minute we'll have a corporate services manager and have the team trained on it, it will be a finance officer and a manager of corporate services. But if it's a major journal that's related to the end of financial year, like a overhead, plant overhead, or major things like employee provisions and stuff like that, that certainly needs my views on that as well.
Okay. Sure. And the second one were the account reconciliations.
So with the key account reconciliation now, there was issues which is still ongoing in terms of the payroll system. And these issues don't actually belong to just 23-24. It's been an ongoing problem from the time definitive software was implemented. And there has been ongoing errors or system failures being figured out, and that was one of the reasons why payroll and HR has now come under the governance umbrella, because it has been like a never-ending problem. It needs to end. And basically what's been happening is your balance between the municipal account and your general ledger, there were duplications of ledgers. Like you could see it's a duplication, but the reason we could not get rid of it is because we could not identify where the problem is coming from. And apparently it's been a technical issue of when we made a payment fortnightly, the universal journal that we have to upload sometimes did double up, and sometimes it also marked up the other indirect costing system, which then created difference between the general ledger and the bank. So it's been identified. We are really working hard to get rid of these issues.
Yeah.
My fingers are crossed for the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, thank you. And then the outdated policy, so the credit card policy has been updated, and then the IT security policy is
in progress of
progress.
review. Yes. We also are putting up the procurement policy in a coming week. That's not included in the audit, just for your awareness. We have looked into financial procurement strategies and the policies associated, so that's been updated as well.
Awesome. And then the cancelled receipts.
Well, cancelled receipts to us was quite minor, but auditors has put it as moderate.
Yeah.
It was basically when the front staff would cancel a receipt or give a refund, there was no signatures done. It's a minor step,
yeah,
which needs implementation, which has been implemented. So we believe that will come off as well.
And then the last one is the amendments to supplier and payroll master files.
Yep. So we have implemented a process to have an audit trail every single payment time. So whenever there is a batch created for payments, the creditors officer has been instructed to provide an audit trail, which will then give us information who has changed what. Like if somebody had a bank account change or an update on their email address, we can look into that. It used to be done like quarterly or yearly, but it's a good practice to do it with every pay run, which has been implemented. And we also have done an instruction to all staff with relevant key members who can and cannot change it, because to my understanding, not everybody should have access to change things. It's a quite risky area, but yeah, it's been handled now. It's been acted on.
So ticking boxes on that. There's any other comments that you wanted to make on the order?
I think the issues that the audit has come up with, I can definitely say that they all are procedural in nature. And one of the things that I have been experiencing from the time I've been onboarded here is we don't have a robust procedure. We do have risk management strategies and the staff are really, really committed to doing their job and doing the right thing. But what is not there is procedural map or procedural manual or a succession planning. So if somebody leaves, there is like gaps in the processes. So some of these are quite common in local government, but some of them are very basic and should not be. And therefore, with Megan acting on the role, she's been helping in a lot of process development around various activities, transactional or clerical activities. And Carly, our manager governance, has put in some procedures around payroll piece because it has now come under her. So hopefully with these corrective actions and, you know, strengthening the review mechanisms, it will help going further. And now it's a good time because we are having a financial management systems review and a regulation 17 review, which is all about processes, who signs, who ticks the boxes, who pays, who makes the payment, how do you derive this, who gives authority to do this and that. So that sort of things, and the system, how it's matched, what all are the type of systems we use, because we are working on a really complex environment. Like home care has got 2-3 different types of portal that they work, and invoice and acquit.
Integrated.
Yeah, and then we have got a synergy system or the definitive or Editex products. So it's quite complex, but it is quite frustrating to go through this process and finding out these many gaps in the processes. But it's also a blessing in disguise. I believe that we are now moving forward, that we know these are the problems and this is how we are going to fix it. So having a standard operating procedure will be one of my target area in the next year, or the coming financial year. Part of everyone's KPI, there should be a standard operating procedure. Yeah. Simply helps to have a robust system plus a succession planning as well. So we're progressing slowly.
Awesome. Okay, any more questions from anyone?
So when's the new, when will we find out the new auditors?
Oh, we have.
It's
Pitcher Partners.
Who?
Pitcher Partners.
Pitcher Partners.
They're very city-based auditors. So okay. I haven't heard many local governments worked with them. I do know there were a couple, but very less regional local government has worked with them, is what my understanding is.
Mm.
Okay. So there will be auditors for next 3 years.
So Jen, just for your information,
yep.
The system now is that we get told by the Auditor General who we're having as an auditor. We have no say.
Oh, okay.
We have no, we have no say in the price or what we pay. There's no.
Oh,
we
really?
we have no say in it. They'll just say that's it and that's what you're paying.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
Can you provide feedback on how they went?
They do an annual survey to all local governments, but that survey is really around the experience of the audit. But you know, the whole process of starting from tender to tender acceptance or invoice payments or the charges, there is no consultation.
Right.
Okay, any more questions? Okay, so we've got the date of our next meeting on 18th of March 26. Oh, sorry, 18th of May 26. May. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so
sorry, just through the chair, I just want to flag that the 18th of May meeting may be brought forward, just depending on when I receive the audit reports for the Reg 17 and FMR, as we will need the committee to sign off before it goes to council. So I will keep you updated.
Yeah, sure. No worries. Okay, I'd like to thanks for joining us today, Jen, and thanks for everyone for their attendance. And we'll close the meeting at 12:35.